Hello my dear students, welcome back to my channel. Now I am resuming my videos, continuing with the root modifications. So we'll just come to the topic. So root modifications, different types. We find different types of root modifications like storage roots or mechanical roots, or they perform photosynthetic roots. So we have different types of root modifications. So what are modifications? Modifications are permanent changes which take place in the vegetative parts of the plant like root, stem and leaves to perform various functions. We all already know about the normal functions of the root. What are normal functions of the root? Main first function is fixation, anchorage and absorption. Besides this, depending upon the regions where the plant grows, the root can show different types of modifications. So let us discuss them. So first I would like to start with the storage roots. Storage roots. So let us see what are different storage. So here what are storage roots? Roots which are modified to store food material. Modified to store food material. And such roots are also called as tuberous roots. Since they store food material, they become swollen. So these are also called as a tuberous roots. Now these storage roots can be a taproot modifications or adventitious root modifications. So we will see them separately. What is a taproot modification and what is an adventitious root modifications. So if we first see what is a taproot modifications. So here you know about the taproot. Here primary root is persistent, which is formed from the radicle, and this primary root will give rise to many branches called as lateral roots or secondary roots. Lateral or secondary roots further branch to form the rootlets. So all these three together form taproot. Now these taproots can also store food material, like for example we have carrot, radish, beetroot and turnip. So these are the different modifications: carrot, radish, beetroot and turnip. These are different taproot modifications, and these root modifications can also show different shapes. Like for example, if we take carrot, carrot will show a conical shape. Radish, the shape is called as a fusiform in shape. Beetroot and turnip, these are called as napiform in shape. Napiform means we all of us know about beetroot. It is swollen and then suddenly it tapers like a tail. So such type of root it is called as the shape is called as napiform. The purpose of all this is they store food material. And most important feature of these plants, these are called as root crops. And these are also biennials. These root crops are biennials. So these are the points which you have to remember for taproot. Now let us see the adventitious roots which are modified for storage. Adventitious roots. For example, first one, sweet potato. Sweet potato is an adventitious root developing from each node. Here each node will develop into a root and then it becomes tuberous. Next, another example is that of asparagus. Asparagus is a storage root, fibrous root system it consists of, and here the storage roots are called as fasciculated roots also, because this is of fibrous roots. We know in fibrous roots the thin thread-like roots arise from the base of the stem. So these, when they store food material, they appear as a cluster. So these cluster of storage roots or cluster of tuberous roots, these are called as fasciculated roots. So we have seen about storage roots, and which are of two types, taproot and adventitious roots. Now we will next go to the next modification. Let us go to the next modification. These are called as prop roots. Prop roots are for mechanical support. They are developed from the huge branches we can find in trees like in banyan trees. We find the huge branches. These roots will grow vertically downwards and they get fixed to the soil so that they give support to the huge branches. So these are called mechanical roots, and these are of adventitious type also because they are developing from branches. And you know, adventitious roots means which are not directly developed from the radical but developed from any other part than the radical. So here they are developing from the branches, and these are called adventitious roots. Example in banyan tree. Next are called stilt roots, like in case of maize. These are also mechanical roots because they develop from lower nodes in maize, sugar cane. In all these we find there is a normal fibrous root system, and from the lower nodes these roots will develop, which grow again obliquely downwards, give support to the plant. These are called as stilt roots, or they are also called brace roots. So both these are for mechanical support. So these are called as mechanical roots, prop roots and stilt roots. Now another type of roots called pneumatophores. These pneumatophores, these are developing for physiological function. They help in exchange of gases, or they help in the oxygen supply. So where do they grow? Here they grow in plants which grow in swampy areas or waterlogged areas, or these areas are also called as marshy areas. Marshy or swampy areas where there is a high salt concentration, and because of high salt concentration they cannot absorb water, and therefore there is a waterlogged condition. So such waterlogged condition results in deficiency of oxygen. So these roots will grow vertically upwards. Suppose this is a base of the stem. From here they grow vertically upwards and they get exposed to the air. They are on the surface of soil, and here these roots will develop small pores on them, and these pores are called as pneumatodes. The pores are called as pneumatodes. So with the help of these pneumatodes, they help in exchange of gases, or they help in getting oxygen. So such roots are called as pneumatophores. So these are the root modifications given in NCERT book. There are some more modifications given for the EAMCET examination. I am going to discuss that also. So let us discuss that. Let us now discuss the root modifications given in Telugu Academy textbook, which are important for EAMCET examination. So other root modifications are velamen roots, or these are also called epiphytic roots, and these are found in epiphytes like vanda. Epiphyte means the plant which grow on the other plant mainly for sunlight and shelter, and these roots can absorb moisture directly from the atmosphere. These will hang. If we observe the vanda plant, we find vanda is an epiphyte. So it will grow on the logs of any other higher plant. So they have thin roots by which the plant gets attached to the log. These thin roots, these are called as clinging roots. And there are some ribbon-like roots which hang freely in the atmosphere. These are called as velamen roots. So with the help of these velamen roots, it can absorb moisture, and it has, as usual, the normal shoot system with the help of which it can perform photosynthesis. So it has normal shoot system, and it has clinging roots and velamen roots. So these are found in epiphytes. Now the other type of roots called as hostorial roots. Hostorial roots means these are found in parasites. Parasites, are the plants which depend on the other plant. And here, these hostoria are the structures by which they can absorb either water or food material. So, suppose this is the stem of the plant, the hostoria will enter into the stem or the any other part or root. So, these are called as hostoria. They can enter into the stem or the root. And depending on that, there are complete parasites and incomplete parasites. Complete parasites are those which absorb both water and food material from the host. They require both water and food material. Like for example, Cuscuta and Rafflesia. Cuscuta is a complete stem parasite. Rafflesia is a root parasite. And also, Rafflesia is a largest flower in the plant kingdom. It is also an example of the largest flower in the plant kingdom. So those are complete parasites. Now the incomplete parasites. Incomplete parasites are those which absorb water and minerals only from the host. They do not require any food material. So they can prepare their own food. Therefore, these can be called as a green and leafy parasites. They are green and leafy parasites because they can prepare their own food. The example of these are Viscum and Striga. Viscum is a incomplete stem parasite and Striga is a root parasite. That means it depends on the root system. Or if it is a stem parasite, it depends on the stem. Okay, now nodular roots. Nodular roots are those which develop root nodules. Like we know very well about root nodules that are found in the Fabaceae members. They are formed due to infection by the bacterium Rhizobium. And Rhizobium help in nitrogen fixation. And these nodules externally they appear as pink color structures. Pink color structures. So because of why they are pink in color? Due to the presence of a pigment called leg hemoglobin. We have in detail about nodule formation, which we will discuss in the consequent other topics. So, leg hemoglobin, because of this, the nodules are pink in color and they help in nitrogen fixation. They can absorb atmospheric nitrogen, convert it into ammonia. Now, the other last type are called as photosynthetic roots. Photosynthetic roots these are also called assimilatory roots. Assimilation means synthesis of food material. So these are also called as assimilatory roots. And these are chlorophyllous or green in color. Normally these plants do not have any shoot system. There is no shoot system here. No shoot system. Only root system is present which grows on the other plant. These are also like for example Taeniophyllum. This is also an epiphyte. It grows on the other plant. It's only the root system which grows and root system is green in color and helps in photosynthesis. So these are all the root modifications and some of it which I have discussed they are extra. They are found only in Telugu Academy textbook and they are important for the EAMCET exam. Okay, so that's all for now. We'll again meet in my next video.